EVOX Biosurveys are a great way to customize your EVOX sessions, as well as support the perception shift that happens during a session. In this video, we'll cover the various EVOX Biosurveys you can run and explain how they can enhance your sessions. So, we're in the client screen, and I'll just click on this EVOX tab here, and you can see what's available. There are biosurveys you can run after a session to support a successful perception shift. But I'm going to start at the bottom here and talk about the biosurveys you can run before an EVOX session first. So at the bottom, we have the affirmation scan. This is a good biosurvey to run if you want to see what the body prefers to reframe on for that session. Sometimes the client may not really know what topic they want to reframe on. So this will scan all the affirmation statements in the ZYTO library and then give you a list of top affirmation statements that the body responded to. And you basically can go one of two ways with this list. You could choose an affirmation statement that showed up as one of the most positive, or you can go the other way and choose one that's one of the most negative responses. These are basically the outliers on either end of the spectrum that you can choose from. Moving up on this list, we have the timed duration scan. This is what you can run during a session after a voice recording to determine the optimal time to run the timed meditation. And you can click a button during a session to run that. So you would never really need to run this one from this screen. Next, we have a couple of biosurveys you can run to customize your multi-topic sessions. The first is the multi-topic progression scan. This will tell us the best way to proceed through the multi-topic chart. And then we have the multi-topic number of subtopics scan. This will tell you the preferred amount of subtopics you should have under the main topic you choose. The nice thing about this list is when you hover over a biosurvey, it will give you more details about what that biosurvey does. So if you're not sure, you can just hover over any of these and read through the descriptions. Okay, the next one here is the Light Frames program scan. There are different programs you can run with the light frames, and this scan will show you the top 5 programs the body prefers for that session. So that's one you can run if you're using the light frames to enhance the meditation. Another biosurvey that you can run before a session is the EVOX session type scan. This will tell you which type of session the person is most biologically coherent with. It will tell you whether to run a topic-specific, multi-topic, or transgenerational session. All right, now we get into the biosurveys you can run after a session to support a perception shift, starting with this session interval scan. This scan will tell you the ideal amount of time to wait until the next EVOX session based on the person's biological preference. So that's a good one to run after each session to determine when to schedule the client's next session. Okay, next we have 3 different EVOX inventory scans. The top one here will scan your EVOX inventory. It will scan any products that you've added to your EVOX inventory. And so, going to the inventory in the menu, I could put these ABC product line products in there to scan. This includes a lot of essential oils, which are also good for emotional support. So whatever product line you're working with, you can add it here. Just select what you want from the right side and use this blue bar to move it over. Now, you could also add the ZUB balancers, and these are just the generic versions of things like essential oils and supplements. You could use any brand of cinnamon bark or clove here, for example. And you could also add any balancers from the ZYTO library to your inventory as well, such as Bach flowers. And of course, you could also add any available product line from the library manager and add products in there as well. The second EVOX inventory biosurvey includes the product collections. Now, when you run this one, you can include not only your inventory, but also any other product lines or product categories. Then you could also add Bach flowers, Australian flowers, and affirmation statements. We mentioned that affirmation statements can be good to scan before a session, but you can also run them after a scan to help support a perception shift. Then the client would just recite those throughout the next week or 2. Basically, this biosurvey is useful if you have specific items in your inventory, but you also want to include other items in your scan. Now, at the end of an EVOX inventory scan, you'll have an opportunity to use the virtual antenna to send an information influencer to your water or other carrier. This influence will be added to the influence that's already in there from the perception reframing session you just ran, so you don't have to use a different carrier. I'll just select this top one and send, but you can send more if you want. Again, the carrier will need to be next to the virtual antenna for this as well. And after that, a report will generate, and you can also pull up additional reports as well. Going back to the Biosurveys tab now, the third EVOX inventory option allows you to repeat the last step of the previous EVOX inventory scan, where the information is sent to a carrier, such as a glass of water. This can be helpful if you forgot to put the carrier in front of the virtual antenna when you ran the inventory biosurvey, or if you want to run it again later to send the information to another carrier. All right? Now, the last two biosurveys here are for the Bach and Australian flower remedies. Flower remedies are beneficial for emotional transitions, so they're a great way to support the perception reframing process after you've run a session. And again, you can include these in the EVOX inventory scan, or you can scan for them here more easily if that's the only thing you want to scan for. These are probably the most popular to scan for after an EVOX session, since they deal with specific emotions. So that's why we have their own biosurvey. All right, I'll go ahead and click on that biosurvey, and we come to this initial screen where we can choose to scan the Bach flowers only, the Australian flowers, or we can scan both at the same time. I'll just keep it as both for this scan. Then the software scans through all those. Now, like the inventory scan, we come to this screen where you'll have an opportunity to send an influence to your water or other carrier. So I'll just select these top two again to send. And again, the carrier will need to be next to the virtual antenna for this as well. Once we've finished here, a report is generated that shows which virtual items we sent to the water, and then the top 5 essences and a description of each one. So, you could have the client take the actual flower remedies you recommend from this list. You have the information in the water. But it may be even more effective to also have them use the actual flower essences for a longer period of time. And the same thing goes for the information you said during the EVOX inventory scan. You can either just have them use the water or recommend the physical product along with it. Then finally, going back to the Biosurveys tab, you also have the option here to run that last step again if you need to send the information again for any reason. So, with the water, you would just have the client drink half of it now, and then drink the rest throughout the next 24 hours. Now, along with the influence in the water and physical products to support a perception shift a client just had, another thing you can do is have the client keep a journal of their emotions throughout the following week or two. Just have them write down what they're noticing is different and how they're reacting to that topic differently and where their emotions are at. That can be another effective step to really solidify that perception shift from their session. And you can then go through their journal with them during their next session. So, that covers all the biosurveys you can run with the EVOX. These are all really helpful and well thought out, so make sure to take advantage of them to further customize and complement your sessions.